Hello guys, this is Joe from Digital Fun, and this is what we're gonna be creating today. It's a countdown in After Effects. It's an old style countdown in After Effects. So this is what we are gonna be creating today. Okay, to create this countdown, we open After Effects. In this case, I'm using After Effects CS3. You go to File, New Project, and then here it says save changes to countdown that AEP, which is the current project I'm working on. So I'll click yes. In your case, you just go to File, New Project, and just click there. Now I'm gonna include the source files in the description for the video. Now let's import the files, and you can do that in two ways: double clicking here in this area, or you can also click File, Import File, or Multiple Files. I'll click Multiple Files, and then I'm gonna include this beep 1, this beep F, which is the final beep, and I'm gonna include also the Filmstrip and the projector, sound, and the structure template. I'll click open. Now this is asking me for the alpha channel of the structure picture. I'm just gonna put straight on matte, okay, and just click done since I have imported what I needed. Now let's create a new comp by clicking here and then create new composition. Now I'm gonna call this composition countdown, and the resolution I'm gonna put 1280 by 720, which is HD, 720, and the duration or the length I'm just gonna put 5 seconds, so it's gonna be 5 seconds long. Click OK. So now I have this composition here. Now I'm gonna give it a background, which is gonna be layer. Click on the composition right here, and then go to layer, new, solid, which is right here, or you can click Ctrl Y. I call this layer background BG, and just give it any color. I'm gonna give it black, but don't worry, I'm gonna apply a gradient to it. Okay, so now you can go here to the effects and then generate a ramp and all that stuff, but I prefer using this effects and presets tab, which has a search bar. So I will type ramp, generate ramp, and I like the radio ramp. Just click on the radio ramp, and now click, you know what, I'm gonna change the colors a bit. I'm gonna put lighter for the star color, like that, yeah, somewhere around that. Click OK, and then I'm gonna choose a darker color for the end color. Yeah, I like that better. So this is the background layer. Now we have the structure, which is just a structure of the two circles and the horizontal and vertical lines. Just see it. Let's put it in front. You see that? That's the structure logo. I mean the structure for the countdown. Where is it? Now we have to import the film strip, which is this one. And the film strip is just a strip of film that I created and it's matted, has transparencies, so you don't need to worry about keying out the color or anything like that. It's just a PNG file. It has transparencies. Now, what we see there is not what we wanted. So let's make some changes. Now let's click on the Filmstrip, press P in the keyboard, and look for the position. Now let's change the X position to center the Filmstrip. Now let's decrease the X position, and it should be about there. But now it's fine on the left side, but on the right side it's not looking right. It's not complete. So let's apply another effect which repeats the background. It's called CC Rip Tile. The tiling should be repeat, so we can start from here, taking the other part, the left part. Now increase the expand right up to when you see that it's completed, and as you can see, we can move it a little more to the left so we can have it in the center. We need to scale down the structure and the background. Now let's lock the film strip so we don't move it around, and let's click on the structure and click the S key on the keyboard and scale it down. I think like 80% is right. Yeah, I think 80% is right, but you can do any size you want, but I think 80% is pretty good. Now for the background, we just need to shrink it a little bit on the y-axis to get rid of this part and this part. So we do that by clicking on the background layer, then pressing down S on the keyboard, and click here on this constraint button to just scale down one axis, and the axis is gonna be the y-axis, which is gonna be this one, and we have to decrease it. Let's see, when it looks about right there. It looks about right. Yes. Now you can see there it's not looking. That's because the composition has a black background by default. So we can fix that to see how it looks by clicking the toggle transparency grid here, and there you can see it's looking right. It's looking pretty good. Now let's move ahead. We need to put the numbers here. Click on the text tool and then just write something. I'm gonna write 5 since my composition is 5 seconds long, and let's select this text. Now it's better to center the text, and I'm gonna scale the text up 36. I'm gonna put like 100 pixels. Wow, it's too small. I'm gonna increase it like 300. There. So we're gonna change the font for the text. I don't know which font to put it. Arial. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna put Arial. Now we have to center the text to the structure, and that's pretty easy. Just click on the position and then move it down on the y-axis until you see it match. Like around right there, right? Yeah, it's pretty good. Now that's just a reference to see how everything is gonna look. Let's change the color to black. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty good. So now we need to do the shading that starts from 0 here and then goes through this whole cycle up to 360, completes one revolution, and then completes the cycle again, and in the end it's going to complete 5 cycles. Since this composition is 5 seconds long, it will complete one revolution per second. So we need to create another solid that is the same size as the background solid. So why create one different solid if we just have the background which has the same size as the size we need? Just click the background solid and go to edit, duplicate, or just click Ctrl D in PC. Now we don't need the ramp, so just click the ramp effect and delete it. We need an effect which is called radio wipe. So just type on the search bar for the effects and presets radio wipe, and it's right here. Or you can just go to effects, transition, and then radio wipe. It should be somewhere around here. So apply it to the so let's rename this layer. Just click it and click enter on the keyboard and type shade. And just to show you what this effect does, I'm going to increase the transition completion to show you what it does. See, that's kind of what we need, but I actually don't need that effect in that way. I need it in a way that it feels as it increases. So it's the opposite of what it does now. So on the wipe, click counterclockwise, and now you can see something that we like. When it's 100%, you see that it's 100%. So it goes from 100% to 0, and it does what I want. Now we need to find a way to do this dynamically, because we don't want to start keyframing everything for 5 seconds. So we are gonna write an expression that is gonna take care of that. Let's click Alt on the keyboard, and then click the stopwatch. Now we're gonna change this and write this expression is gonna be in a loop. The loop we're gonna use is the for loop, and the expression looks something like this: for open parenthesis, close parenthesis, declare a variable var t equals time, which is the current time where the composition is currently at, semicolon, t less than or equal to this comp that duration, semicolon, t plus plus. Now since this expression is only gonna have one statement, we don't need to open and close the curly braces, so just click enter. This concludes the first part of this tutorial series of creating a countdown. Please tune up for the next part. And now write open parenthesis, close parenthesis, because we're going to do some mathematical operations and we need to keep them in order. So that's 100, since we need to go from 100 to 0. we do 100 minus, and then we use a mathematical function which is math, capital M, math, that round, then open and close parenthesis, t divided by this comp, that duration, and then multiply that by 100. Now, to make this more clear, let's put this between parentheses. So we first divide the t divided by the duration of the comp, and then multiply by 100 to get the percent. If you know something about math, you need to divide the part by the total and then multiply by 100 to get the percent. And now we need to multiply by the duration of the comp. This comp, that duration, and it should be all. Now let's see if it's working right. So it's working. So we've done a pretty good job. Now, but that is too dark, right? It's too dark. We can't see it through. We have to lower the opacity. So click on the shade layer and then click T, and then increase the opacity to like that. Right? It looks better. But now we need to change the text to change dynamically too, because we don't want to have 5 layers of text, one with 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. We don't want to have that. And also, if you have a larger composition where you want to do a countdown from 10 to 0 or from 10 to 1, you don't want to have 10 layers of text. So let's do it dynamically. We like dynamic things, right? So expand the text layer and click on text. Then we see here we have source text. Click Alt on the keyboard, then press the stopwatch, and now we should see something appear. So if you think about it, it's easy. We just find the absolute value of the difference between the current time and the total time. I'm going to show you right away. We're going to use this function, which is a function built into the system, right? Math with capital M, that ABS, which is the absolute value of a number. The absolute value is the positive number, or the distance from 0 to the number. So if it's -1, the absolute value is 1, for those of you who don't know. And then absolute value, ABS, open and close parentheses, then time minus this comp, comp with capital M, this comp, that duration. Now we are getting there, but that's not what we want. We want a whole number. We don't want decimal numbers. We just want an integer, and we do that by using another function built in, which takes a decimal number and converts it into an integer. So we do that by doing, the function is parse, then int with capital I, int, open parenthesis and close parenthesis at the end. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now, that's not what we want, because we don't want to show up 0, and we certainly don't want to change from 5 to 4 in less than a second. So, and we do that by parsing the time as an int 2. So we do parse int with capital T, open and close parentheses, just for the time, right? And now we should get the right result. You see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and everything's fine. So we got it right. Once again, the function is this one. And the logic behind the function is the absolute value of the difference between the current time and the duration. And also, let me show you one thing. If we take out the absolute value function, it's gonna give you negative values. You see, -1, then -2, -3, -4, and -5. We certainly don't want to have negative numbers there. I hope that you get now the idea of what I was trying to show you. So we undo this by going to edit, undo edit expression. So let's preview this. So it's now we're almost complete, because just need little things. We have little things left. We almost have this completed. What we need to do now is add more cosmetics to it to make it look older, and we also need to do some other cool stuff. Let's do another composition. Let's take the countdown composition and drop it on the new comp button to make a new composition, and it's gonna make a composition with the countdown composition inside, and we're gonna rename this composition final, because this one is gonna be the final composition that we are gonna render out. To rename it, click on the composition, then enter, click the enter button on the keyboard, and rename it to final. Now here we are gonna do some cool stuff. We are gonna use the CC repo tile, and we are gonna apply it to this comp. That's because we need to do the scrolling of the film across the screen, and we need to have more film on the right, because we're gonna do it from right to left. We are gonna expand right the effect. So you see there 148 pixels, 148 pixels. We actually need more of that. We're gonna do some cool stuff here. We need to click on the stopwatch for the expand right and right. This comp that width, that's gonna take the value of the comp width, then multiply it by we are gonna use again the parse in function because we're gonna use the time as an argument for this function. We we're gonna put time times times, let's put 20. I'll put 20. You put whatever you want, but I recommend you putting 20. Now what this spec is gonna do, it's gonna take the width of the comp and multiply it times 20 times the length of the comp. So it's gonna multiply the width of the comp times 100 because the length of the comp is 5 seconds. 5 times 20. But now we have to transform the position of this. So click on the comp on the layer and then click P on the keyboard and click on the stopwatch for the position, and we are gonna write another expression here. So as you can see here, this tutorial has many expressions. We are using a lot of expressions. Now the expression here is open and close brackets because we need to pass in two values, the one for the x coordinate and the one for the y coordinate. Time times 10. I'm going to explain this after you check it out. So now it's at 0, and now let's move it. Let's put half here so it can render faster. What do you see there? It's moving, it's working as expected. It's moving left from right to left. It's moving from right to left, right there. So it's working. Nice. But anyways guys, this is just After Effects. I'm not gonna complicate you I'm not gonna complicate you about programming, because if you want to know about programming, just check out my other tutorials which I'm gonna post very soon about programming. It's gonna be all on my website at www.thephantom.com. So go to that website and check it out. We have a forum, we have a blog, we have a membership system. You can sign up, PM users, comment on their profiles, comment on videos, comment on tutorials, use the blog, the forum, use whatever you want. It's a pretty good site. Now we're almost finished. Let's make a background, because we have transparency there, and when we render out, it's gonna render black, it's not gonna render transparent. So let's make a background for Y. Oh, by the way, you can use Control Y to insert a new solid, or just go to Layer, New, Solid, and we're gonna move it to the back, and we are gonna make a ramp. Generate ramp. We're gonna drop it there, white, and then the radian, but since we have, let's leave it. Now this looks right, but doesn't look like an old film or anything like that. So let's add noise to this, and to do that we want to apply the noise to every layer in that. So click there, New, Adjustment Layer, and then put grain. Add grain to the adjustment layer, and final output, and I get that kind of what we wanted. Let's give it an old look, like a lighter yellow. It's kind of now it's gonna take more time to render because of the grain. But we want it to look cool. Also the grain is too well, it's fine. It's fine there. The grain is fine. Let's look at there. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Guys, this tutorial is for you. Hope you like it. Now we're almost there. We just need to add some sound, and I guess that's it. Right guys? So this bit 1, it's pre-made for 5 seconds long composition, but if you want, you can use it for a longer composition. Just enable time remapping and it's gonna loop. So because it's looping, I don't want to have, I'm gonna trim it to like around 4.5 seconds, and then I'm gonna have the final bit to the end of the comp. It should be at the end, like right there. And let's preview it. I'm gonna put quarter so it can render faster. So as you can see there, it's pretty good. It's kind of what we wanted. Now let's add the projector sound at the end. This projector sound is just a generic sound of a projector, and you can also use time remapping to loop it in a longer composition. So as you can see there, we have done the countdown. I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you apply this effect to your films. And you can also find different uses for this, because we use a lot of expressions and some complicated ones. I mean, they're not too complex, but they are complicated for beginners who are trying to use expressions and After Effects. These expressions are very useful for dynamic projects or bigger projects, or when you want to repeat the effect and you don't want to do keyframes and all that stuff. And you will learn a lot more about expressions with programming, because programming is the basic for expressions. So check out my other tutorials. I have a tutorial which I uploaded like 2 years ago. That was my first tutorial, but I spent some time doing some stuff and got very complicated, and I couldn't do any more tutorials. But now it's different. I'm gonna be doing more tutorials in After Effects, programming, Java, C++, PHP, JavaScript, you name it. We're gonna be in a great season we're gonna use we're gonna do a lot of tutorials. I hope you guys join the site and explore the site and use the site because it has many useful things. So see you guys next time. Hope you got a great time with this tutorial.